You read the Bible, Brett?
Yes!
Well, there's this passage I got memorized.
Die, you mother...
We should be dead, man.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. In this current news cycle, we're all talking about Epstein. But boy, howdy, does the Donald Trump assassination attempts have a direct connection. And here it is. The FBI is covering both of them up. This is a wild photograph. This is the photograph from a sniper's perspective up on the rooftop. We've actually been on this rooftop in Butler, Pennsylvania. One of the only journalists that was invited up there. Here's Thomas Matthew Crooks on the phone. Who's he on the phone with? Thomas Matthew Crooks, who's a freaking loner. Some zit-faced, pimple-faced guy who couldn't even do a push-up, is sitting there on the phone talking with somebody. Getting directions? Getting orders? What's going on here? Data shows, ladies and gentlemen, that the FBI may be suppressing the info. More importantly, he may have an accomplice. These bastards. Here we go. Would-be Trump assassin Thomas Crooks may have had an accomplice. Data shows, as investigators say, FBI is suppressing info. The strangest thing about this 20-year-old something is that he's the only person on Earth who's 20 years old, living in a first world country that has access to a cell phone, or a third world country, because they have iPhones too, who has zero social media footprint. He's the only one. Isn't that miraculous? And he was able to pop off 8 shots and hit the president in the head, and then kill a member of the president's political party, Corey Comprentor. He's able to shoot 3 other people that day. Isn't that amazing? He's able to crawl across the rooftop in full view. He's the only guy that doesn't have social media, doesn't have anything. No digital footprint at all. No, man, it's been scrubbed. And the FBI knows it. It's been almost 9 months since a seemingly mild-mannered 20-year-old attempted to assassinate the Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump, at a rally in Butler. We still have no good reason why. Sources told the Post that the FBI has obstructed efforts to solve the mystery, and why Thomas Matthew Crooks, who left no manifesto, did what he did. It's left local law enforcement as well as Crooks' former friends and classmates and teachers frustrated. Those who know Crooks' parents, Mary and Matthew, have refused all interviews and remain in their small 3-bedroom house here, sealed off from the world like hermits. Neighbors say that they leave the house at 3 a.m. to buy groceries, just normal things like that. People also say there was no silverware in the house, that the house had been scrubbed clean. Almost like there was some type of operation going on here. By the way, why do we know nothing about that guy in Butler? Elon Musk yelled out at his audience in Conservative Political Action Conference last week. FBI Director Kash Patel is going to get to the bottom of it. A veteran private investigator from Erie, Pennsylvania, who was hired shortly after the fateful July 13th event at the Butler rally, looked into Crooks's by a private client, told the Post, that he believes the criminal network was operating with him at the time of the assassination attempt, is still in existence, and wants to kill Donald Trump. Oh, got it. So Doug Hageman, whose team of 6 other investigators have been working on a case for months and have interviewed more than 100 people, said that they also conducted extensive geofencing analysis and cell phones and tablets not belonging to Crooks that were found with him at his home, the rifle range where he took target practice, and a rally at Bethel Park High School where he graduated in 2022. We don't think he asked it alone, says Hageman. I've actually met this guy. I met this guy when we went to Butler to do our documentary. This took a lot of coordination. In my view, Crooks was handled by more than one individual and was being used for this assassination attempt. And I wouldn't preclude the possibility that there were other people at the rally helping set him up. Here's Crooks's creepy-ass parents getting their groceries at 3 a.m. And here's the private investigator right here. Hageman said that one of the electronic devices geolocated with Crooks's several different places at the time of the shooting is still pinging today. So still active? Crooks perched atop a rooftop 130 yards away, opened fire at the main stage in Butler in minutes. At Trump 78, mounted it to warm up the crowd. He fired 8 shots, striking the former president in the head, killing rally-goer Corey Comprentor and seriously wounding 2 others. The autopsy report indicates that Crooks was pronounced dead. Hageman says that he was personally escorted to the Butler County line and told to leave twice during the course of the team's investigation. The people who did so were either federal agents or some type of private security. He added that one can assist an operation like this by omission or standing down. There are still people who are involved in this case that need to be brought to justice. FBI officials who served under President Joe Biden assessed Crook's phones, computer, and encrypted messaging app in Belgium, New Zealand, and Germany, according to current National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, a former GOP congressman. However, they've been very tight-lipped about what they found. Clay Higgins, who's also been investigating Crook's assassination attempt for months, has not seen Hagman's geofencing data, but downplayed the significance. He told the Post that he believes Crooks acted alone. There's no conspiracy theory. However, the FBI continually obstructed this investigation. So what the hell is going on here in Butler? I hope we get to the bottom of it. We've been asking these questions. Everybody wants to know the answer. How the hell did this guy nearly cause a civil war? This freaking loser and loner. And why was he training at a Homeland Security firing range? Was he part of a network of evil? Was that network of evil being run through our own federal government? Who the hell is he on the phone with? He has the phone with him. What's the contents of that phone? Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bongino asking the right questions here. Was Thomas Crooks working with any FBI agents or assets? Well, now Dan Bongino is in charge of the FBI, so it'd be nice to know. Here we go.
Folks, this Crooks thing stinks to the heavens, man. This has the stench of sulfur all over it. You can't find this guy's communications anywhere. He's managed to find the Catwoman freaking program to wipe himself off the internet. Bullshit. The question you should ask, and Congress people, you need to ask under oath, was Matthew Crooks working with any FBI agent, off duty, on duty, between duty, near duty, retired, not born yet? You get the point? Also, was Thomas Crooks working with FBI asset, confidential informant, a non-confidential informant, an informant who's confidential now but wasn't before, an informant who wants to be an informant but hasn't been approved yet? Do you see the games they play?
And ladies and gentlemen, again, Thomas Crooks did have digital device presence. We just aren't allowed to see any of it. I wonder why. Trump shooter Thomas Crooks had encrypted messaging accounts in Belgium, Belgium, New Zealand, and Germany. Just normal stuff, right? What's on those devices? We asked Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who was very concerned about something like this. She had something very scary to say. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, it does beg the question. I mean, as you follow the logical conclusions from everything from the J6 pipe bomber to how the hell did Thomas Crooks pull this off and fly drones over these spaces? He was training at a gun range with federal agents that also used that gun range. The Homeland Security investigation teams that were on staff that day, the counter sniper teams.
The encrypted communications platforms, which no one's talking about, the gaming app that he was using. Why haven't those been subpoenaed if they are conducting a federal investigation? The fact is that he was obviously communicating. I think he had a handler. I think that someone was walking him through how to do this, whether that was someone with known terrorist ties or whether that is a part of his very progressive left-leaning ideologies. And really, I think a fault of the media saying that if you are conservative or if you are Republican, you are a threat to democracy. When you make those statements, it really does tend to radicalize and I think cause people that might not necessarily be mentally sound to do some really bad things like what he did.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, like, listen, he had a handler. I think that's the perfect way to say it. Who is that person? Is it a foreign nation?
Yep.
Is it somebody?
Those are the questions that
working with a nation state. Is it?
I think, Benny, they were also too anticipating that the news cycle would kind of just go away with this. Obviously, we're into an election cycle. We see that Kamala Harris was really kind of dubbed the Democrat nominee, even though Democrats didn't even support her. I think she got like less than 10% of her party support when she ran for president the first time. So really, they're trying to weaponize this. This is like Hillary Clinton 2016 all over again. And so the best thing that we can do right now, especially, is if you want to stop a lot of the corruption you're seeing out of Washington, and I see it every single day, you have to get involved. You can't just like complain about it and then not have skin in the game. You need to get involved in your local elections. You need to work with your members of Congress. You need to work with your senators. And you can, as an individual, people are like, how do I do that? Get involved with your local GOP. You can go to protectthevote.org. You can register and volunteer also nationally to help out with the presidential for President Trump.
So I guess I just can't I just can't get it out of my head that like we'll never know. We'll never have independent verification as to what medications the guy was on, like what psychedelics the dude had been given. The snipers that we spoke,
yeah,
the snipers we spoke with said this guy was drugged out of his mind. What did they give him? What did his handlers give him? You say he has handlers. Totally. Was it a nation state that was running an assassination plot on our president? Shouldn't we know these things?
We should. And that's why I think, I'm hopeful, though. I do think that President Trump obviously wants to get down to the bottom of this. So maybe the next director of the FBI, who is a friendly ally, will actually conduct a good investigation and release those facts to the American people. But it would have to be, I assume they're going to try to classify this. So it would have to, I assume, be declassified.
Yeah. Well, I hope that I pray that you'll be on that commission.